Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Monday and I had one hell of a weekend, which is why I did not post. So I'm sorry that I did not post. I'm getting back on track for this week, so bear with me. Had a bit of a rough weekend. But I had a lot of clarity on life, where I'm going, and where I should stop revisiting. And yeah, it was just another learning lesson filled weekend for me. But yeah, we're moving forward. Almost choked. We're moving forward. I guess the reason why I wanted to make a video this morning was because I just want to give advice to anybody who's going through the same stuff that I'm going through. And if you are going through a breakup with whoever or whatever, and you feel that you aren't feeling 100% about the person you're with, like they give you really like questionable vibes, I feel like it's a sign from your higher self saying that you shouldn't be with that person. Because subconsciously someone or something is trying to let you know what you aren't seeing because you're so blinded by it all. So just try to be more intuitive with who you are as a person, because you can get wrapped up in a lot of things. Secondly, if you do go through a breakup with somebody, and when two people break up, they both handle the breakup their own ways. It's inevitable. And the worst mistake you could make is trying to find clarity from the place that broke you. And I learned that this weekend. You're never going to get it. And the reason why you're never going to get it is because how you feel from what they did, they will never understand because they're not you. As the hurt that if you did to them, you will never understand how they're dealing with it because they aren't you. So it's really hard to, and I'm not justifying this, but it's really hard to seek that type of clarity in a mess. And the best clarity you can seek is outside of the mess. So I also learned that, as well with really learning how to surround yourself with people that are going to take you to be the person that you want to be. You don't want to be hanging around with people who may at one point of time have helped you through a dark place, and you both resonated on certain things, and whatever, you were doing your thing. That's totally fine. But eventually that way of coping, you will start to realize, like, it's not doing it for me. I need something else. And really what it is that you need to start taking care of yourself. Like getting drunk every weekend, it'll get old really quickly. And you'll get to a point where you want to start doing things that benefit you. And when you start hanging out with people who are in the place that you were last year, or perhaps that's just who they are, you can easily get sucked back into it. And then another year will go by and you'll be like, what the fuck happened? And you won't even realize because you were so in it. And it is really hard to let go of people, let go of friends, because being alone in some people's cases is the worst thing ever. Like, I have a really hard time. I've always had a hard time with really being alone. Like, I always like to have at least one person. But this whole process of where I'm going, I've had to literally cut off everyone in my life. Like, literally everyone. I can safely say I have 2 friends that I know will always be there for me. And we don't even live in the same province anymore. So it's really hard to feel that type of support when I've chosen to move all the way out here. But I feel like I'm noticing things that come up in my life out here. It's sort of like tests to see if I'm going to do the same thing. I'm really learning to stand on my own 2 feet and be independent and not need to be in a relationship because I'm lonely, or keep friends around because I don't like my own company. Like, I'm really learning to like being by myself and doing things on my own, because if you don't like being alone and that doesn't make you comfortable, you're going to have such a hard life. Because if you spend your time just busying yourself with other people, when you get home at the end of the day, the volume of that is going to be so uncomfortable you won't even know what to do with yourself. So, if any of that made sense, I hope that you resonated with it. But yeah, you need to just like really do things that are good for you and that you want to do. And that's something that I'm really learning. So, yeah, it's a new week. We're leaving last weekend behind. And we're just gonna keep growing and evolving. And even if you do something that you regret, like messaging your ex, or hanging out with friends that you know you shouldn't because you always do stupid shit with, or whatever, or just anything that you know that you shouldn't be doing. There's a reason why you did it, and the main point of it is to learn from why you did it. Like, what in your mind are you holding so high with that thing or that person that you don't feel comfortable enough to fully let it go? And I have a hard time really like giving up on people. That is one thing I will say about myself. Like, you could burn me like 1,000 times and I'd be like, I still got love for you though. I still do. And what I'm not realizing though is every time I entertain anything to do with that person, it slowly eats away at me. And what's the point? Not saying that everything you do in life you should do it because you're going to get something back, but if someone continuously shows you who they are, there comes a point in your life where you need to believe it because they're not changing. And that's fine. Do you. That's your life. If that's how you want to live that way. C'est la vie. But as soon as it starts affecting me, where I don't even know who I am anymore just because of the 1% that I think that things are going to magically change. Yeah, it's not the best. But that's life, you learn. So, if you're going to take anything away from this little chat, you need to become the most selfish person you can be to yourself. You need to sit down and you need to really reevaluate everything in your life. What isn't serving you? What is draining you? What do you really want to do with your life? Like, what are things that you want to do by yourself? You need to make a list of stuff that you can do alone. And do it. Don't ask if anybody wants to come with you. Go by yourself. And you will really feel how much clarity in doing that you will find. You will start hearing thoughts that you wouldn't normally hear because there's so much volume of the people around you. Like, that is the time that you should be spending with yourself. And like, it's crazy how in relationships with people, we can treat that other person so much better than we treat ourselves. Like, why aren't we loving ourselves how much we love other people? Why do we give ourselves such little? Why do we do that? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm the most caring, kind, loving person I know. I will go to the ends of the earth to help anybody that I love or care for, even people I don't even know. I'm just that type of person. But do I do that to myself? No. And I still don't know why I don't. So, it's something that you need to learn. Like, the best way that I can really explain it is like, you know, when you go to a party and there's a champagne tower. So you have all those little cups and someone fills it from the top and it all trickles down below. You are the top glass. That's who you are. And you have to fill yourself completely. And then the rest will just be able to give freely to others. So it becomes sort of like, it's a rotating thing. Like, I'm always full, so everyone around me will always be full. So the champagne has to keep pouring for me to be able to do this. So the self-love needs to be continuously happening for me to be able to do this. And if you don't have that within, you're going to drain yourself. And that's like where I feel like I'm at now. And I feel like nothing in my life makes sense because I'm not focusing on what the problem is. And the problem is that I don't love myself enough. And the satisfaction I get from relationships that don't last feeds me. And I feel like that's going to fix me, but it's not. And then you get to this point where you seek out closure, whatever you want to call it, because that's all that you have left is just, that's it. But that's not enough. So you need to figure it out on a deeper level, which is within you. And I don't know why people avoid that. I don't know why I avoid that. I don't hate myself, but I'm not even tapped into who I am as a person to even understand what I need anymore. So that's something I'm working on. So that was a revelation that I figured out this weekend when I was speaking with my therapist. And it was really good. And we were discussing on how it's like seeking closure and how it can be a positive thing, but it can also be a negative thing. And I definitely figured that out. So anyways, I'm going to leave that at that. What else did I do this weekend? I went with my good friend Jacqueline to her gym, and I had a fitness assessment, and I learned so much about my body that I had no idea about. Like how one arm hangs lower than the other, how the way I point my feet in versus how they should be, how I arch my back, and just how I'm very tense in my body. So I'm really excited to work on all those things. It's a gym downtown Van on the east side, so it keeps things interesting if you know the east side. But yeah, I love the owner. His name is Nico. He's super nice. He makes me feel super comfortable because, like, obviously when you're a bigger person and you go to a gym, like, you kind of have that little bit of anxiety, like, oh, I don't deserve to be here because I'm not fit. But really, the reason why you're going is to make yourself look better. Everybody there has different stages. Like, you could be just beginning, you could be continuing on, you could just be bettering yourself or whatever. So they definitely give you a no judgment type of feel. And it's a private gym, which I love. So I'm super excited about it. And I think that will be another good thing to keep me out of trouble and doing things that I shouldn't be doing. Because I don't want a repeat of last summer, which was very bad. Like, I was drunk pretty much every weekend, even during the week. I was full send or no send. And that was not good. So we're not having a repeat of that. And I'm just gonna surround myself with better friends. I did meet some new friends this weekend. I went out with Jacqueline and it was good. And like, you feel such a different vibe when you're hanging out with people who have the same mindset as you. So just really intuitively understand how your body's feeling in that moment. Yeah, happy Monday, guys. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will be posting the mukbang soon. I have to do it. I just have to, like, really figure out my week. So hopefully it'll be up this weekend, and the vlogs will still keep coming. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and love yourselves. Really be mindful of where you're at. Meditate. And cut out anything that's not meant for you. And sometimes you just gotta let things die.